You focus on you. And every time you watch a video and every time you study in the charts, you read your mission statement. What is it? What is it you're doing? Why are you doing it? And what is that goal end result? Everything you do should be aiming in that direction. If everything you're doing right now is opposed or slight deviation from that direction, you're wasting your fucking time. You're wasting your time because you have to have a course, a direction. You have to know where your bearings are. And you got to constantly be working in that direction. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall to the wayside because you've done something too soon, rushing to get in there and start pushing buttons and making money. Everybody right now, everybody wants to go out and get funded because they see folks tweeting to me, hey, I'm funded now. Hey, I'm getting a payout now. Well, what does that create in weak-minded individuals? And folks, when I say weak-minded, I'm not trying to say you're stupid. I'm not saying you're daft. I'm not saying you're a dense person or a dunce. I'm saying that it's normal for you to want to rush into that. You want to do what everybody else is doing. And if they're doing something that's making money, guess what? Everybody's wanting to do that. But I'm unfortunately that kind of guy that's going to tell you, you're going to have to work before you get there. You're going to have to study a lot. And you're going to have to defer weekend things that you usually do. You're going to have to change your lifestyle and save money, change your spending habits, maybe even remove certain types of friends and possibly family members from your influence, or removing their influence from you. And I had to do that. And it didn't feel right. It didn't feel normal. It felt like I was I felt like I was isolating myself through depression, but these were conscious decisions I made. It wasn't like I reduced my circle of influence because of anxiety, because I had that experience too. When 2001 happened, I ended up having generalized anxiety and developed agoraphobia, which is fear of being around other people. And it was all based on September 11th, when those buildings and such in New York happened. And everything was a source of fear for me. But I don't have any of that kind of fear, like nothing. Like I'll walk out there in a burning building. I don't give two shits. I ain't worried about nothing now. But that generalized anxiety, that fear, that will creep into you in this trading endeavor faster, and when you're not prepared for it. And it'll completely derail you. It'll take you completely out of their focus. You won't know what it is you're doing, and you'll lose sight of why you're doing it. There's so many folks out there that have started doing this, and because they were not able to master themselves and wrestle their internal demons, these things that are going to manifest themselves. These things that you do all the time. Let me ask you a question. Like, think about it like this. Have your personal relationships, have they been healthy? Now, for many of you young guys, it's probably going to be no. I'm going to tip you off on something right now. If your personal relationships, long-term relationships, or the ability to hold on to a long-term relationship, if that is a struggling point, I'm going to tell you something right now. You're going to fucking suck as a trader. You're going to suck because you are not going to commit to what's required to learn this. That's the reason why my students, the better students, are the women, because they're usually more committed to whatever endeavor they invest in. Think about it. When they get with you as a male, they're usually the one that's hurting most because they poured everything into it. They've signed on. They're committed. And it's easier for a guy to walk away. So if you have those character flaws in your personal relationships, that's a warning sign that you have things that you're going to have to wrestle with, and you're going to try to put blinders on. And right now you're trying to ignore what I'm saying. You don't want to hear this. This is supposed to be about trading. No, this is about succeeding and training yourself properly, studying. You see, I don't give a fuck about cars and houses and bank account statements and who the fuck can win competitions. I care about successful students. That's what I want. And I know what causes that success to be deferred or denied. And these are the factors that are going to come up, and people don't write about it in books. They don't talk about it on their YouTube channels because it's going to immediately cause their audience to do what? Take inventory, and it's not going to make them feel good about themselves, and they're not going to want to come back and watch their next fucking video because the last time they were there, they got a dose of reality, and that reminded them that, hey, they're a fuck up. So it's better for you to hear someone that had that same fucking problem and how I fixed it. I owned it. It was a responsibility of my own. I made those mistakes. I had problems. I had commitment issues because my first wife left me. All these things. I had issues. I had chips on my shoulder. So I wanted to go out and prove to the world and her family members and my own family members and my friends that I could fucking do better than all of them. So when I went out there and I pushed that first trade, the option in orange juice futures, and some of you are probably thinking, you can trade orange juice? Yeah. You used to be able to trade bacon, pork bellies, but they don't trade them anymore. But I wanted to go out and prove myself because I needed to fix that pain. When what I was doing was I'm using that pain as a reason to do something that the chart didn't tell me to do. And people still come to my content with those character flaws, those internal demons, and they're going to see an optimal trade entry in the chart. They're going to see a fair value gap, model 2022 in the chart. They're going to see a breaker in the chart. They're going to see everything they want to see. But really, what they want is an escape from that painful thing that they're feeling right now. They want to be distracted. And the worst thing you can do is use my videos as a distraction to those problems that's in you right now. You have to wrestle with them. You have to fix them. You have to take ownership and responsibility. If you cause those problems in your personal relationships, then you need to address the root causes of them. Change it. Because I'm going to tell you something. I could not find consistency when I was painfully hurting because my first wife left me. Because everything I was doing was just a reason to take away that pain. Much like a person that would use drugs, much like a person that would drink alcohol. I was self-medicating, distracting myself from the real problems because I felt like I wasn't worth it. She left me, and I was in school learning computer science, and I was telling her, look, I'm going to do well. I wasn't a trader yet. I wasn't going to be a trader. I didn't know anything about trading for me as a career. I learned about it when I was 15 and 16 from my uncle, but I just didn't want to do it. But I was hurt. I wanted to do something to change that pain and make myself be viewed by everyone around me as, wow, you're successful. And if I heard other people say that, it would replace that painful inner voice of me saying, I fucking sucked as a husband. I didn't spend enough time with her, but I couldn't do that because I was going to school and working. And we were married when she was 16 and I'm 18. I had to get her parents' signature to approve the marriage. That was doomed. But I loved her. And truth be told, I still love her. And my wife knows that. I wouldn't leave my wife for her. But you know what it's like with your first. And anybody that says anything otherwise is a fucking liar. But that scarred me. And I wanted to fix that so bad. And I was willing to do anything. And any kind of monetary loss, hey, the fuck's that? I just lost my wife. How much more could I lose? Money, that's replaceable. I can't get my wife back. So for my first 6 years, I wrestled with that stuff. I couldn't fix it. I couldn't get through it. No book worked for me. No course worked for me. Everybody fucking failed me in my eyes as a mentor. Now, once I was able to fix those character flaws, then I was teachable. Now think about that. Because this is a really hard question. And a lot of you know this is true and you've ignored it and you tried to pretend it wasn't real for you. But But are you really, at this moment right now, are you in a position to be taught effectively? Or do you have something in you that's broken that's going to prevent you from really being diligent and suffer the normalcy of the ebbs and flows of winning and losing while you're learning how to do this? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I think the majority of you are not. And that's the reason why I talk to you the way I talk to you, because I had to endure it too. And I have a lot of students, and they're very honest with me, and they wrestle with these things too. And when they finally get through that, they forgive themselves. They forgive the people that hurt them. Like, I forgive my wife. My wife, when I say my wife, my first wife, I often think, and I've had conversations with my wife several times when we have drives together. I'm like, what are you thinking right now? I said, if I can be honest with you and you not get angry, I'm thinking right now, I wish my wife could see me right now. Because when she left, she didn't believe that anything I was going to ever do was going to be successful. Because she was a kid, just like I was. And she heard my same uncles and aunts and, such talk down to us. Well, talk down to me saying, oh, it's a pipe dream. You're going to be working just like the rest of us. So if you doubt it, and the person you're married to's own family members tell you in the witness of your own attention that person you're married to isn't going to be successful too, you're young and impressionable. So all of that weighed on her heavily. And she was sexually abused, and she was 8 years old. All of those things. She had a lot of mental baggage, and it was easy for her to do what? Just escape. Cut her losses short. And I just want her to see you were wrong. But I don't want her to notice it. Going through that at the moment, then, that was hard. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to hang around my friends. I didn't want to do shit. I stopped working out, and it was this depression. And the only thing that motivated me was, you know what? Fuck computer science. Fuck that. My uncle talked about this trading shit, and that book that I threw away into the corner because I bought this guy's course, Ken Roberts. I said, I'm going to go read that again, and I'm going to go into this, and I'm going to do that. Because if I can make money doing that, everybody's going to find that successful. Because there was a movie out there called Trading Places. It had Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy in it. Really funny movie. Even it's dated, but it's still funny. I watched that and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I'm going to be a comeback kid. I'm going to fucking do that. Okay, I'm going to be successful in trading commodities. That was going to be my avenue. Now, I didn't have what you have available to you. And I'm not saying just me as a mentor. There's so many resources that's for free right now that you can tap into for information. Now, I'm not talking courses because there's a lot of that bullshit doesn't work. But resources at your fingertips. The thing I'm holding in my hand right now, talking into, this stupid ass fucking cell phone that I can't stand carrying around, it has more information in it and ability to do things that 25 years ago, our own president couldn't have this much control and power over. And he was the president. So it's amazing what technology has developed in recent years and decades. But I needed to feel good about myself. So I went from trying to replace a painful feeling of loss, depression, and self-worth being next to none, to I got to stop thinking like that and focus on the target. What am I trying to do here? Because if I'm just trying to replace a bad moment or feeling right now, maybe you're in a failed relationship. I have several women in my mentorship that have, some of them started the mentorship together with their male counterparty, and they separated. As soon as they started seeing success, the male said, I'm out of here. And now they're dealing with, yes, they know how to trade, but they can't trade now because they're hurt. And they're asking me, how to fix that. The only way I could do it was, number one, I turned to Christ. Two, I focused on the task. What is it that I was trying to do? I was replacing a negative feeling so that way I can have a feel-good moment, replacing a bad moment. Okay. So how do you do that? Well, your mind can only focus on one thing. And being bipolar and obsessive, my mind races 1,000 miles an hour, and there's dozens of thoughts that are wrestling to try to be the one in the front of the line. And it's very difficult for me to focus like that. And you've probably seen it in this discussion too, because I'm all over the place. But hopefully you get what I'm saying here in the grand scheme of things. You have to focus on that mission statement. Why are you doing this? Why are you listening to me? What do you hope to gain from that? Have you seen something in the things that I've taught or my students that make you want to do that too? That's what you latch on to. You do not look at it as, I'm going to go in here every day because I'm pissed off about where I work at. I didn't get that raise. Fucking Carl, he's got, employee of the week. He's parking in the front. You're pissed off about that. Everybody is, giving you some sort of reason off. So now you have resentment. You want to go in and you want to have a feel-good moment. You want to hit the lottery. So you're wanting to go in and trade on that reason alone. It may not be something simple and trivial as what I'm trying to be here, but there's something in your head at the moment, right now, that's motivating you to want to make money right now. Not just the necessity of making money. Everybody has that. Even me. I have bills. But there's something driving you that's causing the rush. Not the rush of feel good, but the impatience factor. That impatience factor is what is going to undermine you.